Thank you for taking time to learn more about Solevay. Before I begin, let me start by giving you some of my background. Prior to founding my last company, I had two successful exits. My last company in 2001, I founded it with the goal of creating a global leader in mobile data services and solutions, a company that would enable the largest mobile operators in the world's mobile data services business. Well, as I look back, I started the company with an idea. I self-funded it. I raised hundreds of millions of dollars in capital from companies such as Intel, NEA, TCV, took it through each stage of growth into the capital markets on NASDAQ mid-2010. It was December of 2010, I woke up one morning and saw that we had created a $1.2 billion market cap as a company and saw all the goals that I had set for myself and those around me met. Well, it was right around that time that I knew I was beginning to see the makings of what was next for me. It was mid-last summer, 2011, that I stepped away and I made the decision to embark upon what I believe to be the biggest thing of my career. If I could summarize my career in any way, if you could picture whitewater rapids coming down a mountain, I've always gone upstream, traversing from one rock to the next, and it was because I was either in shape or I had great people around me. We always got out successfully. And if I could present an analogy of what's happening right now with Solevay, if you're able to take a plastic water bottle and dump all the water out, put the lid back on top and throw it into the same raging whitewater rapids, it just naturally flows downriver with great momentum. I made a decision this past October. I said, whatever I do next in my career, I'm going to make sure that it's value-based. And I'm not talking about character and integrity. Those are a given. I remember telling my wife, Chantel, whatever I do next, I want it to be what moves me inside every day. So I went away for a couple weeks and I identified 15 core values in my life that basically fit into 5 value buckets. Now I'm going to go ahead and give you 2 of the 5 because I believe they're really underpinning everything we're doing here today at Solevay. Number 1, I said whatever I do next, I want to do it with people I like, love, and trust. Number 2, I said whatever I do next, I want it to positively impact millions of people's lives around the world for good. And that's what's happening today with Solevay. The momentum that we're experiencing is unlike anything that I've ever seen before. What used to take me a year takes a month a week a day an hour, because of what we're doing inside of the company. It was September of this past year that I found myself in what I like to call the white space, a place where I'd been at the start of previous companies, a place where I can think clearly about the trends that are happening around me, key products, services, technologies that are emerging. It was October that I was in my living room. I had a flip chart out, I had several individuals over, and everything that I'm going to show you today on that day came out of my mind and was put on paper. And everything that we've built thus far was seen on that day. Solevay. Sola, sun. Vey, veins. Sun in your veins. What I really like to focus on, though, as a company is our tagline, which we've trademarked, which is powered by relationships, because it really speaks to what we're focused on as a company, and that is positively impacting millions of people's lives around the world for good. 4 trends have created the opportunity today for Solevay. Trend number 1, the economy. Worst conditions since the Great Depression. The middle class has been degrading for the last 5 years. 75% of the U.S. makes less than $50,000 a year, and 50% of the U.S. makes less than $30,000 a year. Median household income today is approximately $50,000, with approximately 96 million households representing that demographic. I hadn't paid any attention to those numbers before. In fact, I think a lot of us probably live in a bubble and are not even familiar with those numbers. But what I did is I actually started thinking about my own family, my sister-in-law and brother-in-law, incredible people. They live down in southeast Oklahoma. She's a full-time school teacher. He's a full-time construction worker. Their combined household income is approximately $66,000. They have 4 kids. They've got a mortgage payment. They've got 2 car payments. They've got credit card debt. If a $1,000 bill comes out of left field, they're upside down. It's amazing. They make $16,000 more than the median household income in the United States. Trend number 2, social media. Social media has changed the way we act, the way we interact, the way we take in information, the way we share information today. Just to give you a snapshot of how that's changing individuals around us, My mother came in from Oklahoma this last year, and we went to a Seattle Seahawks football game. About 2/3 of the game she spent on her mobile phone on Facebook, taking pictures, posting it on her Facebook wall, watching comments from her friends going back and forth. And I said, "You've got to be kidding me. This is my mother." Social media has changed the way we live our lives today. Trend number 3, mobile. 300 million mobile devices in the United States today. 5 billion around the world within the next 2 years. Our mobile phone has become a DNA imprint of who we are. It's become an expression of who we are. It's a limb on our body if we leave home without it in the morning. Trend number 4, the industry of direct sales. It's a $110 billion industry that's based on goods and services being sold between 2 individuals and not a retail location. 2 words that when I heard it before made me think of companies like Amway, Mary Kay, Avon, Tupperware. Some people call it social selling, relationship marketing, referral marketing. But whatever it's called, the fact is, burgeoning macro trends is causing it to grow like never before. An industry that's completely changing into an industry that now includes companies like Amazon and Groupon that are utilizing referral and affiliate marketing to draw consumers to their brands. The advertising industry, big media that uses radio, television, and print is a $144 billion industry. And large corporations are seeing today that those same dollars can deliver even a greater return on investment when placed in referral dollars between 2 individuals that trust each other. Well, it was last summer that I began seeing more with this trend, and it was at this time that I learned that Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway, one of the world's leading investors and investment firms, had purchased one of the United States' largest direct sales companies because of their model and their financials. It was last September, and I was in Palo Alto, California, meeting with some good friends in the technology investment industry, when I learned that TCV, an early investor in Netflix and Expedia, they also invested about $27 million into my last company and got about $80 million out. And Sequoia, one of the most successful technology venture firms in the world, they were early investors in Apple and Intel and eBay and Oracle, just to name a few, had both been vigorously competing to get an investment into one of the fastest growing social selling jewelry companies in the market. Well, I stepped back and I looked. You have investor luminaries buying and investing in the direct sales and social selling industry because of the financial opportunity being seen. And the only thing I could put my fingers on for why the major growth was happening in the industry is this. Number 1, the economy. People looking for a way to make additional income. And number 2, social. People are more connected today in a natural sharing environment more than ever before. It's these 4 trends that have converged to create the opportunity we have today for Solevay. And here's what we're doing. We're combining mobile and social to redefine commerce. And what Solevay is creating is an industry in and of itself called social commerce. Solevay is going to create a market of millions of people. And here is what happened. In September of this last year, I had an epiphany, and it was this, that a single relationship has the potential to make life better for many people. One person connected to another has the opportunity to make life better for others. The mission of our company is to make commerce less expensive for the consumer. Things that you and I do naturally every single day. Make it cost less. More importantly, make it profitable for the consumer every single day. And for us as a company, creating a viral brand that we believe everyone is going to be interested in. I always believe that everything is always better seen when you can see it through the lens of a consumer. So what I'd like to do with you for the next few minutes is role play, so you can see how strong the Solevay opportunity is. So picture this. Let's say that you and I are sitting down having a cup of coffee at Starbucks here in Seattle, Washington, and I ask you the question, have you heard of the company Solevay? And you say you haven't. I say, Solevay is a fast-growing social commerce company and is now my mobile services provider. Just like I had been using AT&T before, I'm now using Solevay for my mobile phone service. You ask me, do you like it? I say, I love it. The service is as good, if not better, than what I had before, as Solevay is operating on the backbone of one of the 4 largest mobile operators in the country. But the real difference is, Chantel, my wife, Barrett, our 17-year-old, and I had been paying between $280 and $360 every single month with AT&T for our 3 phones. And now with Solevay, I'm only paying $49 per month, unlimited voice, text, and data, 4G nationwide, with no contracts and complete transparency. You're intrigued, and you say that you've not seen any retail locations for Solivay, and you ask me where I got it. I say to you, well, that's what's interesting. You actually get it from me. And you say, from you? I say, you see, last year, AT&T spent over $4 billion in advertising, sales, and marketing. Places like American Idol, the Super Bowl. Verizon spent over $4 billion. T-Mobile and Sprint individually spent over $2 billion each. And what Solivay made a decision to do is to take those same billions of dollars to drive down price for the average consumer for what they're paying for monthly. But more importantly, take those same billions of dollars to pay the greatest advertising vehicle known to man today, which is you and I. An example of that is, if you tell 6 of your friends about Solivay and the $49 a month unlimited voice, text, and data, 4G nationwide, and they begin using Solivay as their mobile service provider, Solivay will put $150 directly into your bank account. As well, your friends will be using their phones every single month, and Solivay will pay you a monthly override on the mobile phone services usage from those friends that are using Solivay as their mobile phone services provider. On top of that, Solivay will be doing deals with companies such as Amazon, Home Depot, Best Buy, Walmart, Target, Orbitz, just to name a few. Brands that spend billions of dollars each year to draw consumers to them. And Solivay, by doing deals with those brands, they will pay Solivay 2 to 12% on every single dollar that is spent by Solivay members with them. That will be paid back to Solivay, and Solivay will in turn pay 50 cents of every dollar of gross profit back to the members of Solivay through the compensation plan in place. You at this point are probably very interested. I tell you that it even gets better than that. Every morning when you wake up, you probably check your emails, your texts, your Facebook messages, your Twitter feeds. But now, when you have Solivay as your mobile phone service provider, one of the very first things you want to do when you wake up, and in fact, many times throughout the day, is check your Solivay dashboard. And here's why. This is where all of the activity is shown of those individuals that have started using Solivay through you. An example is, it shows your 6 friends that are now using Solivay as their mobile service provider. And what's even better is, because your 6 friends like the $49 a month unlimited voice, text, and data, just like you told them about Solivay, they told others. Now let's say through them, 18 of their personal friends started using Solivay. Well, over the last couple months, your Solivay network naturally grew to 76 people because others liked the $49 a month unlimited 4G nationwide service, along with all the other benefits that come along with Solivay. Solivay is going to pay directly into your bank account every 2 weeks, and you find that Solivay deposited $196 directly into your bank account. And you say to yourself, this is amazing. All I ever did was tell 6 good friends about something you were getting great benefit from. Many of us here at Solivay have created some of the leading mobile, some of the leading social technologies used today by some of the largest companies in the world. And one of the things we said was, we want to create a technology that would create a natural sharing environment about the tremendous opportunity of Solivay, not a selling environment. So what we did was, we built everything on a social graph so that everything could be naturally shared. And what I mean by that is, if you shared Solivay with 6 of your good friends, the moment that 6 friends started using Solivay as their mobile service provider, a little message is going to pop up on the middle of my phone saying, your name, Amy Carney, just got 6. What that means is, my good friend, Amy, just got 6 people to use Solivay as their mobile services provider. And Solivay is now going to put $150 directly into your bank account. Well, that makes me feel good, that my good friend is personally getting benefit from something that I told her about. So I hit the send congrats button in the middle of the screen, and it immediately sends a message into the Solivay community with a little message that says, Amy Carney just got 6. But it doesn't just send it to the Solivay community. It immediately sends it congratulations to your Facebook, to your Twitter, your LinkedIn, your Google+. Here it is on Facebook's newsfeed saying, congratulations, Amy, for making $150 for using your phone. Well, what do you think happens next? 11 of your friends in the next 10 minutes respond with comments. How did you make $150 for using your phone? For which you respond with, I started using Solivay as my mobile service provider. You can too. Click here. This happens through your entire social graph and also into the online community of Solevay. Here is where you can see all the posting activity of Solevay in your network. Here's where you can see all of the new people that are getting involved, and here's where you can use the Outreach Manager to even invite more friends easily to Solevay. So how hard is it to become a member of Solevay when you tell me, sign me up? I want the $49 a month unlimited text, data, voice, 4G nationwide for myself. I say, it's incredibly easy. I ask you the question, who is your current mobile service provider? You say AT&T. I ask you if you're currently under a contract and you respond with, I only have 1 month left. Well, that's as good as no. I ask you if you need a new phone, and I tell you about the new HTC One S, one of the leading new Android smartphones, and also about the new ZTE Android smartphone. You then ask me if you could use your current phone, your Samsung Galaxy, and I say absolutely. Solevay will just send you a new SIM card. Because you have the Samsung Galaxy, I know it's an Android operating system. I ask you if you agree to the $49 a month unlimited voice, text, and data, and you say absolutely. I then ask you to put your name, your billing address. I ask you to put your email address, your phone number, and I ask if you want to have the new number ported over to the new service, and you say you do. And immediately, a little message pops up on the screen saying, congratulations. Your new SIM card and everything you need to get started is on its way. Well, here is what's going to happen next. Within the next few minutes, you're going to get a message from Solevay. And here's what I can tell you. You will never find a company that is more focused on driving down costs for the things you're naturally doing every day. You'll never find a company that is so focused on driving reward, driving pay back into your life for the things you already do. Well, within the next day, you're going to receive a welcome package from Solevay. And that welcome package is going to be your SIM card and everything you need to get started. If you needed that new phone, that's going to show up on that day as well. Well, within about a week, you're going to receive your Solevay Bank of America Visa debit card. And what's unique about this card is that's where the unique technology is that resides keeping track of where all the purchases are going to take place by our Solevay members with Solevay partners. So two things happen. One, the right remuneration will happen from Solevay partners back to Solevay. More importantly, the right remuneration will happen from Solevay back to the members of Solevay through the compensation plan that's in place. Also, this is the card that you're going to use to get cash out at the ATM, use it to make purchases anywhere Visa is accepted. Let me draw a picture of how all this works. Let's say that over the course of the last 6 months, you've been involved with Solevay. For the first couple of weeks, because you're really excited about the $49 a month, unlimited voice, text, data, 4G nationwide, you went out and told some friends about it. Well, they did just like you. They were excited, so they told other people about the $49 a month unlimited plan. Well, your network over time has now grown to over 80 people. You've not done anything since that second week except just talk on the phone, like you do now every day. Well, every 2 weeks, Solevay is going to deposit directly into your bank account. And let's say today you've got $298.44 sitting in your bank account. Well, one of the things that Solevay is going to create is an environment where you can actually see where those dollars can go further. So today, you look on the application and you see every area by category where Solevay partners are. You happen to see that today Target is offering between 3 and 7% on merchandise purchased by Solevay members. So you go to Target, just like you normally do every single day, getting party supplies for this weekend, you're getting automotive supplies for your car, except here's what's different. 3 to 7% of that purchase today is being paid back to Solevay, of which 50 cents of every single dollar of gross profit is being paid back to the members of Solevay through the compensation plan that's in place. A virtuous cycle has been created. Well, one of the things that we will do here at Solevay is weave a mobile wallet directly into that Solevay bank account. So let's say you go to Target, you're at the cash register, and you see that little PayPass signal. And you say, I'm going to use my Solevay mobile wallet. So you punch in your 4-digit code, and immediately it pops up. You see your previous Solevay balance of $298.44. You see the transaction amount of $106.30. You see the current balance now of $192.14. You see the date, you see the time. You also see that 7% of that purchase is now going back to Solevay, of which 50 cents on every single dollar of gross profit is being paid back to the members of Solevay through the compensation plan that's in place. You say to yourself, why wouldn't I take the money I've got in my JP Morgan Chase or my Wells Fargo bank account and put it directly into my Solevay Bank of America debit card because my money goes further? Well, let me step away from the role play and share with you some of the things that have really created a lot of the enthusiasm around Solevay and a lot of the things we're doing today and going to be doing in the future. We have done a litany of focus groups. A lot of us come from very large, multi-billion-dollar consumer and technology brands, and we all know how important it is to test with focus groups. One of the universities recently did 10 focus groups for us. Demographic of individuals making less than $50,000 a year, subdemographic meaning different age categories. These tests were done with variant testing, blind studies, black and white, no marketing materials, and here's what's amazing. We saw results that we've never seen before. 71% of the participants that were part of those focus groups said they'd moved from their current mobile phone service provider to Solevay because of the rate plan of $49 a month unlimited, and also because all the benefits that came associated with Solevay. I'll actually tell you about one of the focus groups that I personally did. It was with university students. There were seniors and first-year graduates. So if you think about the demographic for a moment, these individuals are very conscientious about what they make and what they spend, and every one of them have a mobile phone. I did the exact same presentation that I'm doing with you right now up until the last slide, and I asked the question, how many of you are interested? Every hand in the room went up. One young lady said, interested? I'm going to tell the entire student body here at the university about Solevay. Well, I said to her, do you mind if I use you as an example? And she said, no, go ahead. I said, how many people in the next 60 days do you think would want to be like you and use Solevay as our mobile service provider with $49 a month unlimited? She said, Ryan, everybody I know. And I said, okay, if you don't mind, please quantify that for me. She said, at least 20 people. I said, okay, I'll tell you what, I'm going to be a little more conservative than you. I said, do you think that you know 6 people that would start using Solevay as their primary mobile service provider because they too like the $49 a month unlimited text, data, voice, 4G nationwide, and do just like you? She said, Ryan, that's easy. That's my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, and I'm not even started talking to my friends yet. I said, okay, I tell you what, if 6 people do that within the next 60 days, we're going to put $150 directly into your bank account. On top of that, we are going to pay you $40 per month each month residual income on the usage of those individuals. So your $49 a month phone bill is now only $9. I said, how many of those 6 people are going to do exactly like you did? And she said, every one of them. Again, I said, okay, I'm going to again be more conservative than that. I said, do you think that 3 of those 6 individuals will do half of what you did? She said, Ryan, they're all going to do 6. I said, okay, 3 just do half of what you did and just get 3. She said, Ryan, that's easy. I said, if that happens, we're now going to be paying you $150 a month. So your $49 a month phone bill is now gone. Plus, you're making over $100 a month, and we're not even talking about the goods and services. This is just on the mobile phone service. And if 6 of those individuals do half of what you did, we're now going to be paying you $260 a month each month. Well, it literally freaked out the focus group. And that is something we have seen with every single focus group we've done thus far over the last several months. And one of the reasons why there is so much enthusiasm around Solevay and the opportunity we are bringing to the market. That same response has been consistent with attracting key employees and investors to the company that are now involved with Solevay. We have attracted the very best. It was last October when the vision was still in my head and there wasn't a presentation to take somebody through that I flew to Washington, D.C. I had several meetings there, and I asked somebody that I really respected, Jim Ryan, to fly from Atlanta, Georgia, and meet me there. Jim had been hired in 2003 by the CEO and the board of directors of AT&T to launch and build their $200 million mobile data services business. Jim helped grow that business over many years, and that business now for AT&T represents over $12 billion a year P&L for AT&T. He was also one of the ones responsible for doing the AT&T iPhone deal with Apple. So I really respected his thoughts on the industry. So while I was sitting there, I went over the vision I had for Solevay with Jim. The next morning, I received a 2-page email from him. I'll summarize it with the first and last paragraph. First paragraph. Ryan, I believe what you're creating is the culmination of my entire career. The last paragraph. Ryan, if you allow me to be involved with Solevay, I'll move my family from Atlanta, Georgia to Bellevue, Washington. Well, I'm proud to say that a month later, Jim joined me as my head of products, moved his family from Atlanta, Georgia to Bellevue, Washington, and now lives here. My head of finance was 8 years the chief accounting officer for T-Mobile. My head of legal and policy, former U.S. congressman. My head of member experience led customer support for one of the largest telecommunications operators in the country with over 10,000 employees working for. The former chief operating officer of Walmart, Louis Vuitton, and Target joined me approximately 2 months ago. The former chief care officer of T-Mobile, 7 years, won the J.D. Power's Best Care in the Wireless Industry, joined me about 2.5 months ago. In December, we had approximately 17 employees and contractors building the technologies of the company. Today, as we ready for our national launch, we have over 140 employees and contractors building market-leading technologies and services for what we're doing here at Solevay. I self-funded the company through March and then attracted leading investors to the company. I was sitting down about 4 months ago with David Limp, Vice President of Amazon and leads the global P&L for Kindle. He used to work at Apple with Steve Jobs, and when David saw this several months ago, he said, "This is one of the strongest things I've ever seen," and personally invested in the company. I did a webinar very similar to what you're seeing today with John Miller, who was formerly the chairman and CEO of AOL, and today is the CEO of News Corp Digital and the Chief Digital Officer of News Corp. After 1 hour of listening to the webinar, just like you're seeing, he said, "This is the most powerful thing I've seen in over a decade." He personally invested and now sits on our board of advisors. We just had Eddie Lazarus, who has been the Chief of Staff for the FCC, join our board last month. I have so many more that I could mention, but what I can say is it's the best team I've ever seen come together at one time, and that's because of the vision that's in place with the company. Just as we've attracted great people, we've attracted over 20 key partners that have aligned with what we're doing, all wanting to be a part of Solevay's launch into the market. We had the leading mobile operators vigorously competing months ago to be the primary mobile services backbone to our company. We ultimately chose T-Mobile because of their capacity of their network and their commitment to deliver to the market with us something that had never been done before. We had the leading financial institutions competing to be the financial services provider, and we chose Bank of America because of their technology. The leading handset manufacturers vigorously competed to be part of Solevay, and we chose HTC and ZTE to provide next-generation smartphones, and they committed approximately $100 million in handsets just so they could be a part of our launch. I could go on and on about all the individuals and all the partners that have associated themselves with the company because they believe in what Solevay is doing for 2 reasons. A, because it's never been done before, and B, it's going to positively impact millions of people's lives and they want to be a part of it. Now, all of this is moving into our multi-stage launch plans of the company where we have been very strategic on how Solevay will move aggressively into the marketplace. 2 months ago, we identified hundreds of professional networkers. These are individuals that have thousands, tens of thousands, and some of them hundreds of thousands of people in their networks. Well, each one of these individuals wanting to be involved with Solevay. And on June 30th, we had our pre-launch event here in Bellevue, Washington, where approximately 400 people from across the U.S. gathered to see the unveiling of Solevay, the technology, the opportunity, and all that we're doing to bring to the market. We strategically equipped each one of them and let them know that as a part of our pre-launch, they could select a maximum of 12 individuals. They may have thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people in their network, but we told them they could only have 12. Why? One reason is a closed-loop test cycle. It's very important for us to test all the technology that we have in place. Number 2 is to build the pent-up demand, the ether in the system. You know how it is when you have a lot of people wanting something, there's only a few spots left, or a few that are allowed to have it. It creates a level of excitement, and we're already seeing that across the country right now. Well, those individuals were so excited that they already began creating a viral effect. And by our July 25th webinar, we had not only 2,000 members identified for our test cycle, but tens of thousands had already pre-registered to join Solevay. An infection of Solevay on the social graph has already begun to take place. And I'm sure many of you today have already seen some of the postings on Facebook and Twitter about members' enthusiasm for Solevay. Well, it's at this stage today that our marketing organization has begun providing key marketing messages such as Solevay, it's going to be viral, get ready to catch it, and many other messages that our members, not Solevay, our members are placing on their social graph, so others are able to see the enthusiasm that is building for what we're doing as a company. It seems like everyone that embraces Solevay begins telling everyone they know about it and getting them pre-registered for what is coming. We are now building toward the largest webinar in world history. On August the 22nd, we will have over 25,000 Solevay members. Each one of those individuals hearing not only key announcements, also hearing launch plans of the company, and also at this stage, further infection of the social graph, where you're going to be seeing key celebrities, individuals, actually sharing about their enthusiasm for Solevay on the social graph, Facebook, Twitter, continued enthusiasm building for what we're doing. All of this building toward our national launch. On September 21st, we're estimating over 250,000 members, all viewing a live webcast from the event. Many from parties that will be hosted across the U.S., also our live launch party in Seattle with celebrity personalities, purple carpet, everyone seeing the power of what Solevay is bringing into the market with this $49 a month unlimited text, data, voice, the very first social commerce company to ever be brought to the market. It's also at this stage that something very important is going to happen. You probably remember earlier me talking to you about the social graph technology, the automation in the system where it automatically propagates a message of congratulations for making $150 using your phone, congratulations for making $236 for using your phone. Well, that technology up to this point will have been kept off. One reason is to keep all of the commissions building up in the system. So on this day, September 21st, we move from an infection of individuals hearing about Solevay. Now we flip the switch, and across the social graph of Facebook and Twitter, you're going to be seeing thousands of messages of people who are being positively impacted by using Solevay as their primary mobile services provider. Individuals making income for doing something they were already doing naturally every day. Well, 12 months after launch, we're going to create a global network. And here's what I mean by that. If we have 5 million Solevay members here in the U.S., each one of us is 1 or 2 people removed from someone somewhere else in the world. If you can just think about the deal we've just done with T-Mobile, we can do the same type of deal with mobile operators such as Telcel down in Mexico, or Rogers, or Bell, or Telus up in Canada, or Telefonica over in Spain, or Axiata over in Asia. Let's say we do those same deals in Canada and Mexico, and 1 year from now, a little message pops up in the middle of your phone that says, Solevay Canada, Solevay Mexico, now available to Solevay members. Well, everyone in Canada and Mexico has probably already been watching Facebook and Twitter and been seeing all the activity surrounding Solevay. They've actually been waiting for Solevay to come into that market. You're now able to bring people into Solevay, both in Canada and Mexico and other places around the world that Solevay begins moving into. Well, that brings me now to our product evolution and to what we're doing with the product of Solevay. We first started with mobile phone service, and the reason being that we believe the critical mass of millions of individuals using Solevay as their primary mobile service provider gives us a conduit of communication to them with everything they do every day. We have built all of our technology around an intelligence engine, an intelligence architecture, which gives us an understanding of the usage patterns of our members, because we believe our members want us to know what they're doing on an anonymous basis. Why? Because we're all about our members. We're all totally focused every day at driving price down for them. We are focused every day at driving value, driving pay back into their life on the things they're already doing. And the more we can know, the more we can do to affect that positively. We're very different than companies such as Google and Facebook. You know, all of us, I don't believe any of us, are consumers of Facebook and Google. I mean, I've never written Facebook and Google a check. In fact, if anything, I'm a means to an end. I'm just a cost of good to them. I know that every day, Facebook and Google is collecting information on me so they can monetize me to their customers, which happens to be advertisers. We here at Solevay are actually turning all of that on its head and putting all of the power, all of the pay back into the hands of those who matters most, which we believe are our Solevay members. Many individuals around Solvay today are calling that a revolution, and that is something we're extremely focused on, impacting people's lives. Stage number 2 is we're going to put more stuff through the network. Because you're using Solvay as your primary mobile service provider, there is no stopping all the other things that we can bring to you and to our other Solvay members. Goods and services, bringing you other things like cable, like energy and utility bills, things in an area where we can drive down price because of the aggregation of all of our members doing this together. More importantly, take all of those advertising dollars, $144 billion of that, which is spent in the U.S. today, and in fact, drive it back to the benefit of our Solvay members. So bottom line, we believe this is going to be big. We are creating the very first global social marketing and social commerce network. In fact, our IP law firm is one of the top IP law firms in the country, doing work for companies like Amazon and Microsoft and many other leading technology companies. They do approximately 50% of Microsoft's patents. They do a tremendous amount of Amazon's patents. Well, Lewis Lee of Lee and Hayes, he in fact was saying to me, Ryan, I can't believe the amount of free space you have to patent under. We have been filing patent after patent around the technologies because no one has done this before, and we couldn't be more enthused about it. And what we believe today is that this is going to spread like wildfire. This is going to be something that is going to be viral, and we're already seeing the early indications of that with those individuals already involved with us. I believe that everything we're doing here today and why so many people are enthused really stems from a dream that I had this last October. You know, I don't sleep a lot. In fact, I don't dream a lot. But I had a dream the third week of last October, and I've told almost every single person I've shared this vision with about the dream because it was so impactful to me. Here's the dream. There are thousands and thousands of Solvay members on the White House lawn. Everyone was all jammed up together, and there was a lot of energy, and so much so you could actually feel it in the dream. I was standing in the middle of all of these Solvay members. The President of the United States got up on stage, and he got behind a podium. He asked me to come to the stage. He handed me a plaque and said, Ryan, on behalf of the United States government and on behalf of the White House, I want to thank you for stimulating the United States economy. As cheesy as that sounds. Well, it was later in the day, I was thinking about the dream, and I started thinking about the $12 billion in advertising that's spent by the mobile operators. If you're able to take just $1, $2, $3, $4 billion of that and put it into $50, $100, and $200 increments into individuals' lives across this country, you literally change people's lives. In fact, my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law in Southeast Oklahoma, if you gave them an extra $200 a month, you literally impact their lives. It's a way to get a better car, pay off credit card debt. In fact, individuals that are making approximately $50,000 a year, which is approximately 75% of the United States population, the only way they make an extra $200 a month is to go get a part-time job. Many of them at grocery stores, fast food restaurants, taking 40 to 50 hours a month away from their families to make that $200. Well, it's that environment that Solvay is going to impact by driving down costs for all of our members and putting pay back into their lives based on everything they're already doing. We believe this is going to change people's lives, and that's why so many people are enthused with it. And it's those individuals that are now making this vision their very own. I want to thank you for watching this presentation and giving us the opportunity to tell you more about Solvay and why we're all so enthused about what we're doing. I do look forward to the opportunity to meet you personally in the future. We look forward to seeing Solvay and you having the opportunity to work together and being a part of this vision that we have to positively impact millions of people's lives. Contact the person who invited you to watch this presentation and ask them for an invitation into our pre-registration system, which we call the Lane, so you can get involved and also immediately start building your network prior to our national launch on September 21st. Thank you. Have a great day.